On this week's show, I'll be talking to you about how you can build your brand by adding value. In the news, £600 million worth of property transactions have been lost in the last 12 months, and we will be answering all of your property and business related questions.
Welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an upload. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify and YouTube. Enjoy this week's show and don't forget to share it with all your friends.
Hey, my name's Alistair Cunningham and I am joined this week by the one and only Mr. Ricky Mandel.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Really good, man. Thanks for coming on. So what have you been up to in the last week?
So this last week we've been at the Business of Property Investing Academy event, life-changing event, lots of breakthroughs, sent out a couple of deals, so we're matching them with the investors. It's been a busy week.
You. What else?
Also went to look at some houses, done a full day of viewings on Monday, which was great, saw some good potentials.
Thank you.
What have you been up to?
So this week, again, I've been at Business of Property Investing, really good event. I've been out checking on some of my properties.
Thank you. What else?
Right, okay, so one of my properties, I actually don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I have got a property in Bedfordshire that I'm working on at the minute. It's mid-refurb and it's due to be completed before Christmas, so there's 4 or 5 weeks left. So it's looking pretty good at the minute, but I've just been to look at that today. It's just had a whitewash put over all the plaster, and then they're going to start getting it ready. So like now it's all the structures up. It's like fast track now. It's going to get done. Amazing project, looking really, really good. Also, I've been sort of looking at new cars for my daughter. So she's looking to upgrade her little Corsa, and she's looking to get a new car. So probably going to go for either a Mercedes A-Class or a BMW 1 Series. So what I want to know from you, if you've got any of them, what should she go for? My daughter's 21 and she's looking for, like I say, an A-Class or a BMW 1 Series. I prefer Mercedes A-Class.
Yeah, I prefer that.
Yeah, I prefer that. So what do you prefer? Drop a message in the comments. Let me know. A-Class or BMW 1 Series. And then I'll put that to her and we'll see what she goes for. Busy week. Guys, also drop a comment. Tell us what you've been up to. What's been going on in your property life, in your property business, or in your business in general. I love to hear what people have been up to and what they've been getting on with. So this week, we're going to be talking to you about how to build a brand and how to use your brand to capitalize on income and make money from business and property, and about how branding is so crucial to you and what you do in business. And I know you're really, really good at this. You're doing a great job with it. So what do you think? What do you think about branding?
Look, I think,
firstly, what is branding? Let's try and explain in a nutshell. What is branding? Like,
so branding is how people recognize you in your business. So for example, you can have a personal brand, you can have a business brand. iPhone, their brand is Apple. That's the brand of the iPhone, and they have multiple products. Alistair Cunningham, that's your personal brand. So if you have multiple businesses and you have a strong personal brand, you can funnel people into them different businesses by coming through your personal brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. The thing is, it's don't just think of it as creating a logo or creating a website. It's your whole essence of you and the message that you deliver, or the thing that you're known for. I talk a lot about how people will do business with you when they know, like, and trust you. And that's sort of given out by the brand of what you create.
I don't think you're not going to be able to market without a strong brand.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You're not going to be able to market.
I agree with that. And so, like, what are the steps to creating and building a brand or building a following, shall we say?
Okay, so with branding, I don't think there's a specific step-by-step. I think it's a combination of steps that you have to put together.
Okay.
But there is a key.
Okay, what's the key?
The key is to give value.
Yeah. Massive. I agree with that. We work by the principle of serve before you sell, and I think in business in general you have to go serve before you sell.
100%.
You cannot just go straight in for the sale, because the minute they don't know you, they don't like you, and they probably don't trust you. So people know, like, and trust you by you having a brand, you having a presence, and you want to build that presence up via value. So give maximum value before you even say to them, look, bang, if you want to do this, it's going to cost you X, okay? One of the things I do a lot is like I've got my book. Okay, my book, you can get it free of charge if you look in the right places. You can get it on Amazon as an Audible free of charge if you join Amazon Audible program. You can go onto my website, and not at the minute. And in about 3 weeks' time, there'll be a link to download my book completely free of charge. You can get.
I've never had your book for free. You made me pay for it.
Well, that's fine. But you can watch YouTube, my YouTube content that I put out there. I do regular Facebook and Instagram postings. I do the Property Investors podcast. This is all value that we are adding to yourself and to whoever else tunes in. And it's all very specific to what we're doing.
I think a major point is the value that you give should be from yourself and not copy other people's value.
Yeah.
You've got a book. I wouldn't then go out and write a similar book because you've done that. I could write a book that's specific to me.
Of course, it has to be specific to you. Even little things like this morning, I was at my property in Bedford and I was just doing a quick check-in on one of the refurbs, and I done a Facebook Live. I got my phone out, literally just got my phone out, jumped on my Facebook page, done a Facebook Live, just giving everyone an update on what's going on, but also showing them, because it's teaching, it's showing them.
This is so valuable to people. That video
things
is
like
so valuable.
the waste pipe that's had to go underground, right? Some people might not know that you have to get planning regs for that. You have to get planning approval, not planning, you have to get building regs approval for that. You have to do what's called a building notice form for that. It's just little things like that, okay? Doing little Facebook ads, doing little like Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives of deals you're doing. Something you can do to add value to the person that might be following you or looking to do what you're doing. Because you'll know something they don't know.
Yeah.
And if you can help them do that, then it's all the time building your brand, building your image, building how people perceive you and what people think of you. And in turn, all the time it's building, people will start to know you. They'll then start to like you, they'll start to trust you, and then they'll buy from you and they'll invest with you, or they'll do a joint venture with you, or they'll sell you a house and let you source it on, or etc, etc, etc. But at the minute, one of the biggest problems I see with people that are coming into the business, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, is they start in the world of property and they think it's like an overnight success. They think it's like, okay, great, I've done a training program, I'm going to go out and I'm going to become a deal sourcer. But it's very difficult for them because nobody knows who they are. They don't trust them. They don't necessarily like them because they don't know who they are. But it's not necessarily their fault. It's just all they're focusing on is I need to make money quickly. They're not focusing on building a sustainable business by building a brand. So if you want a sustainable business that will last you for a long, long time, I think it's really, really important that you focus on you and your brand. Build that, and then the business comes off of it as like Alistair Cunningham. One of my businesses is this, one of my businesses is this, one of my businesses is that, okay? But I'm known as Alistair Cunningham. The brand is Alistair Cunningham.
Yeah.
The brand is Ricky Mandel, okay? Multiple businesses shoulder sort of spring off of that, and it's really, really important. What's your take?
I think a lot of people that are starting out and maybe watching this that are starting out maybe sat there thinking I haven't got any value to give, or I'm struggling to think of what to do. 2 points I'd say to that is, first of all, don't always think about creating content, but just document. If you document your journey as part of your story, and people will be inspired by that story, and you can look back at it and see what you've achieved and what you've done to get there. So always document, don't always think about creating. Now if you do get stuck, put a post out, put out an Instagram story and ask people what do they want to see, what do they want to learn.
Good.
And then that will give you your content that you can create just by finding out what other people want.
One thing, you touch on content there, I think is very interesting. One thing that I think is really valuable, if you haven't got content for yourself, that's fine. You can use other people's content as long as you credit them. So for instance, let's say I've done a YouTube video, or Ricky does a YouTube video, or Samuel's done a YouTube video that you found really helpful for you in your journey. You could then share that and say, look, I found this video really, really helpful, come from Alistair Cunningham. Look, watch this. It's really helpful. It
I used to
me.
do that all the time.
Yeah. So as long as you credit people, if you've used their content, just credit them. I'm sure they won't mind, because that's also helping them build their brand, because it's then getting shared. So talk to me. I know you're massive. You do a lot on Instagram. Talk to me about Instagram and how you use Instagram to help build your brand and your following.
Yeah, I think Instagram, millions of people on Instagram. Everyone's going to see your post. You can do pictures, you can do videos, you can do IGTV, of course. The main thing is to make Instagram look professional. You know, you want it to look professional, have a good headshot of you as a profile picture, have a good bio, so people know straight away what is it that you do. Because when people look at your profile, most of the time in business, they just want to know what's in it for them.
Yeah, of
so if
course,
you're a property investor and they know that straight away, and you can give value, and they're interested in property, then they're probably going to look at your profile. So I do a mixture of pictures and videos. The videos are always giving value of some sort, whether it's best areas for HMOs, how to get started in property, how to become a deal sourcer. And I do pictures as well. Now, I got asked a question the other week, how can you give value on a picture? Well, you can upload a picture of an animation which tells a story that's got some sort of inspiration behind it, or just upload a picture of yourself that looks professional but have value in the description. So a few days ago I uploaded a picture of me, and in the description it said 3 tips to become a deal sourcer. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Now, of course, it's not loads of information, but it's something that someone can look at and go, okay, maybe I can do this. And if it inspires just one person to get started in property, then I've done my job.
Yeah, I agree with that. A couple of crucial points though. When you're going to start thinking about building your social media following, and you're going to start trying to build a brand, what I'd recommend is you keep all of your platforms the same, okay? So you wouldn't have different, like let's look at logo and branding, okay? You want the same logo across all of them. You want the same colour theme across all of them. You don't want to have an inconsistency across, say, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn or whatever, okay? Now, really, really important, when you, in your photographs on like your headshot or your profile picture or whatever, you want them to represent you as you, because people buy into you. They don't buy into...
Don't try and be someone you're not.
Don't try and be somebody you're not. So like, don't be... Like, I don't believe in standing in front of a Lamborghini going, hey, look at this, look, and trying to let people think that you've got a Lamborghini because you're trying to make them believe that you're rich, because that's bullshit, okay? So I don't do that, right? And I don't like people doing that. I don't like people using materialistic things in the background of images to try and build their brand, because that's done on a false pretense, okay? Especially if it's not theirs or they don't own it. So I would always keep it reasonably professional.
Yeah.
But if you don't wear a suit every day, if you never wear a suit, if you don't even have a suit, why would you go out and buy a suit just to take a photograph for your professional sort of
people will figure you out. Picture? People just figure it out.
It's not congruent to you, okay? So make sure your pictures and your images and what you're the message you're trying to get out there is congruent to how you are on a daily basis.
I 100% agree. Because if someone's going to do business with you off the back of your Instagram and you're being someone you're not, when they actually meet you and do business, they're just going to think that you've lied. Yeah. And then they won't do business with you.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the other thing, is images.
Yeah.
Okay, headshots.
Yeah.
Give me some tips.
So tips for headshots. If you always show your eyes.
Yeah.
So people can see into your eyes. It's a bit more personal and it connects with the audience better. Have a professional background as well. Something that's clear. It's not too distracting from the picture of your head. A nice professional headshot is what you want. I wouldn't do a full body one, because on Instagram the profile picture is quite small, so when you have a full body picture they can't see who you are or anything like that. So keep it professional, shoulders and above, and make sure you've got no glasses on or anything like that.
Yeah, I would say the same. No glasses, and I would also say no hats or anything like that. You want people to see you as you are, okay? And you want them to build that, okay, I can see the guy or the lady and I know who they are, and that's my personal preference, okay? Any more tips for using like getting engagement, building branding on social media?
To be fair, we could do a whole course on how to do it.
But just like, let me get like 5 tips. Like, if our viewers wanted to go out and start sort of doing regular posts, start building their following and building their brand. 5 things. What would you say?
I would say number 1 is make your profile professional. Yeah. Number 2, have a good profile picture.
Yeah.
One of the most important. Number 3, engage. That's really important.
Talk to me about engagement.
So engagement, the way that algorithms work on across all social media platforms is you want to give love to receive love. And what I mean by that is, I know you should try that with me more often. Show me some more love, bro. But give love to get love. And what I mean by that is, show love on people's posts. Give them a like, and then comment. Even comment with value, compliment people, encourage people, and the more times you comment and share love on people's people's posts, the more your post will get seen when you do post.
Yeah.
So if you're not active on social media and you do not engage, when you post, no one's going to see it. The more you engage, the more your post gets boost. Another tip, fourth one, is when you post and you get comments, reply to the comments.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, these could be your customers, and it's polite
absolutely.
to reply to people.
Yeah.
And every time someone comments, and then the quicker you reply, the more your post gets boosted to the top.
Okay.
It's how the algorithm works.
So understand the algorithms, understand that you give love to receive love. The more engagement you have with your clients, anyone that responds to a video you've done or a comment you've made, thank them, give them a thumbs up, give them a love heart, whatever. Reply to comments as quick as possible, and actually be quite positive online. Like, honestly, do you know? Let me tell you something. If I've got somebody messages me and wants to do business with me or wants me to help them or whatever, I always have a little sneaky peek at their profile, and I look through I try and find some post they've commented on, and if I ever seen them be negative, I just won't do business with them. So never ever be negative online, okay? Because people will just naturally not want to do business with negative people. So if you're being negative and you're dragging people down, and you're being a little bit childish or whatever, nobody will do business with that person. It's just fact.
Yeah.
Because I only want to do business with people that are positive and have a positive mindset, a positive outlook, not a negative outlook.
I do think there's a difference though between being negative and documenting the struggles or the problems that you may be going through in your business.
Of course. I'm not saying
No, you're not.
What I mean is, like, don't go onto other people's posts and criticize.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you see somebody doing something you don't agree with, if you don't like it, just move on to the next post. But don't go on there and say, like, oh, why are you doing this? It's pathetic. It's pointless. Don't do it.
Yeah.
No, it's not supportive. Support people, and then that will give you a better sort of presence.
I think it leads me on to the fifth point, which is
fourth.
That was 4.
No, engagement was third.
All right.
What was number 4?
4 was. I thought I said number 4. I'll think of another number 4. Number 4 is do stories.
Yeah. Instagram, Facebook Live, Facebook stories.
You can actually connect your Facebook to your Instagram, so when you upload on Instagram story, it will automatically go onto your Facebook one.
Yeah, okay. So give me an example of a story that you like. Explain what a story is to those who don't know.
A story is where you can upload it to your profile. It will be when someone clicks on your picture, or it will come up at the top of Instagram. You can have stories which are like 15 seconds long. They stay there for 24 hours and they get deleted.
Yeah, so it's just like a 20.
It's like it's
15 seconds.
Yeah, but it's like snippets of your day. That's what it's meant to be, like your story of your day. Now, again, think about your stories. What do you want to do? You want to have engagement with your customers. So you can do stuff like, you can do ask questions on there where people type questions in and you can answer them. Do polls. Get people saying, whether they prefer. You can do a poll about your daughter's car. Which one should we get, BMW or a Mercedes?
Yeah.
And get people engaging on that. So make your stories engaging.
Absolutely. And number 5.
Give value. Everything you do, give value. Doesn't matter whether you're commenting, doing a story, just help other people and give value.
I always go by the theory that you'll get what you want when you help people get what they want. I always go by that.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who said it, some famous guy or some famous.
Was it Ricky?
It wasn't Ricky Mandel, no. Somebody far more important said that the more you help people get what they want, then you will get what you want.
Yeah, I agree.
I entirely agree with serving before you sell, giving value, helping and inspiring other people. I know you're really good at that, and I know you come from a really good place with a massive heart where you just want to help people get what they want. And in turn, you'll get what you want. But it doesn't have to be a hard sell all the time, okay?
Right.
Serve, add value, build your brand. Guys, I hope you found that branding exercise useful, but obviously we could spend days talking about this. I think
that's like a 5-day course.
We could do a whole event talking about branding and positioning and marketing, but I hope that little snippet's been useful to you. Okay, in the property news this week, property transactions are at a high, massive high. But according to The Independent, in the last 12 months, £607 million worth of property transactions and 14 million days have been lost through transactions that never get to completion. Like, it's just crazy numbers. Almost a quarter, 25% of all deals done don't go as far as completion. That is equivalent to more than 225,000 transactions every single year.
Do you know what I see there?
What do you see there?
Opportunity.
Why? Explain.
Because there's going to be landlords and owners of houses that are trying to sell their houses. They just keep on falling through because of these problems. When you've got the right education, like what we have, we can then go in and help.
Yeah, but like seriously, man, that's huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that's figure close to 30% of all transactions fall through in England and Wales. Remarkably, though, the figure is down on the near 40% of deals that fell through in the preceding year. So actually, the year before it was 40%. And the biggest cause of properties falling through are mortgage problems. At the minute, backed up by tightening lending rules and restrictions.
Actually, interesting point. I saw most lenders now, they're using Experian to do your checks.
Yeah.
Now, I know that recently, from the date of this recording, Experian now you can link to your bank account if you use a bank account that supports it.
Okay.
Link it to your bank account and then it will look at your bill payments. Now, from my understanding, your score will never go down because of it seeing your bank account, but it can only go up.
Okay.
And it's to help people get more borrowing.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called Experian Boost, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Experian Boost. Look into that. Now, other mortgage problems can arise when the properties are downvalued, which is happening during COVID-19. The economy is a little bit a bit up and down, so valuers are downvaluing. But then what happens is you go back, you try to renegotiate, and then the vendor said, you know what, we're not going to sell now, we'll wait until a later date. Gazumping. Getting outbid at the last minute, a growing risk in the economy, another massive reason for properties falling out of bed. Also a break in the chain, so if you've got a large chain, people losing out elsewhere or deals falling through down the line, which breaks the chain, causes the transactions to fall through. So what can we do to try and prevent property transactions falling through? Because it's a big problem, especially if you're a deal sourcer. It's a big problem. We know that 30 to 40% fall through, so what can we do to try and sort of mitigate that risk?
Especially with deal sourcing, it's doing the due diligence on the investor before they start that transaction.
Yeah, I agree massively. To make sure that the investors actually got the ability to get the finance, they have the good credit in place to raise that finance, and they have the right monies in place to pay deposits and things like that. So I think that's really important.
But that should be common practice anyway.
100%. It's all part of the compliance, but make sure you're doing it. Second thing I think you can do is make sure you're buying the property at a good price.
Yeah.
Make sure that if it does get downvalued, you're still okay.
Add contingency on the end as well.
Contingency. One of my friends has always said, you make your money in property when you buy, not when you sell, by buying the right property with the right price in the right area. So look, very interesting news article this week. Crazy. Okay, so we've come to the question and answer session for this week. Now, if you want to put a question out onto us and let us answer them, we do a Facebook Live every single week, and we do that in the Property Investors with Samuel Leeds Facebook group. We also take questions if you message myself on Instagram. I'm Alistair_Cunningham, and then Russell Leeds. It's just Russell Leeds, okay? So if you send either of us a message on Instagram, we'll try and answer it as well. We do get quite a few questions every week, so I'm going to try and answer them as best as I can now, and Rick can help here.
Cheers for forgetting my name.
Right, okay, so we've got a question here, and it's from Jordan Guy. So Jordan is looking at a property which is BMV and a cash only due to cracks in the structure. Have you experienced anything like this before, and how much of an issue was it? Okay, Jordan, yeah, I've experienced properties that are cash only because of structural issues which deem them unmortgageable. So, yeah, it's something you have to deal with on a case-by-case basis. I can't possibly say how much of an issue it is because I've not seen your crack and I don't know what the structural issues are. So what I would do in this case is I would get a structural engineer to go out and assess the damage, assess the property, and give you an estimation on how much it's going to cost to fix. That's all I would do. When I had an issue last time, I was doing a joint venture with somebody on an auction property. I hadn't viewed the property or done anything because he was doing that side of things. Turns out the property had terrible subsidence, so we ended up, I didn't because I hadn't put the money in at this point. He ended up losing a little bit of money because by the time they went out to view it, and to do the structural reports on it, turns out the subsidence was going to cost way too much to fix, which affected the end figure. So as a result, I pulled out of that transaction and I said that I'm not going to go ahead with it. That was my example. Have you had any examples where the house is cash only?
Yeah, I was looking at a house which had subsidence. So it was cash only, had subsidence in the back garden, the ground had sunk.
Okay.
So the building had shifted. And I think you can't estimate these costs. You have to get a professional in there to price it up for you to be able to stack the deal. So never be estimating these costs.
Yeah.
Always get someone to look at it properly, professional.
Okay, next. This is from Alex Putoki. Alistair, how do you place a commercial valuation on a HMO? I've looked at taking the annual rent income multiplied by 80% divided by 8.5. Am I right on these lines? Okay, I'm going to give you a quick overview on how to calculate commercial rents on HMOs. Okay, first thing first. You are not going to buy a 3-bedroom house, make it into a 5-bed HMO and get a commercial mortgage. It's not going to happen, okay? Depending on the area, it depends on the minimum bedrooms, but typically 7 or 8 bedrooms at least, okay? Now, how it works is this, and it varies area by area, okay? So you have to do your due diligence in your current area. Now, you take the annual rent, so an annualized rent, okay? So add up all the rent on a monthly basis, multiply by 12, that will give you an annual rent. You then take away the running costs for the property. Now they say a fair amount is 35%. So let's just say, let me get my calculator out. Let's just say you've got a property which is bringing in an annual rent of £36,000. Now I want to know how much the running costs are, so I'm going to work at 35% here. So I'm going to say the running costs are 35%, so I need to know what 65% of £36,000 is. That gives me £23,400. Now, you need to now go to the local authority and find out what the local multiplier is. Now, the multiplier is the number they give you depending on how many HMOs in the area where you are. And it varies between 8 and 12, okay? So let's just say the multiplier for the area that I'm working in is 10.5, okay? So then how you would work it out, you take the annualised rent of £36,000, whatever your property brings in, work out the running costs, 35%, so 65% of £36,000 give me 23,400. I'm going to then multiply that by the local multiplier, let's say in this case it's 10.5%, 10.5 times, and then that gives you a value of 245,700. So that property then would have a commercial valuation of £245,700, there or thereabouts, okay? That's roughly how you do it. Now, there is a time where sometimes a commercial valuation is actually less than a bricks and mortar valuation. So you have to do your due diligence of that property in wherever the area may be. So I hope you found that useful, but that's basically how you do a commercial valuation. Okay, James Downs, how can I fit a property sourcing business around my full-time job? Dude, it depends how much you want it. Because if you want it, that's not even a question somebody that wants it would ask, okay? And I mean that with the greatest respect. But if you really want it, you'll do it. You'll just find a way to make it happen. So I was full-time in what I was doing before I got involved in property, but I made it work because I made sacrifice. If you can't afford to leave your full-time job until you start this, then work it out, man. Like, seriously, like, work on Saturdays, work in the evenings, cut your hours down so you do your full-time hours in 4 days so you can have Fridays off. I'm not saying you do, but turn off Netflix, stop watching TV. When you get home at night, work. Listen, business is difficult, deal sourcing is difficult, but you just got to find a way to do it. Because let me ask you this: if you spend however many hours you work a week, let's say 40 hours, you spend 40 hours a week working on your deal sourcing business, you'd be in a very, very good place. So I get asked this question a lot, and it annoys me really, because if you want to fit it around, if you want to start a business, something's got to give. So you're going to have to sacrifice something.
Yeah, I think sacrifice is a key thing. Get up an hour earlier.
Yeah.
Stay up an hour later.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
But James, if you make it work, I know you'll be successful, okay? And I don't mean to be harsh on you, but to me, that's like, just do it. Find a way to make it work. End of. If you've got to get somebody to help you with viewings, get somebody to help you do viewings. If you can't do viewings because you're working, get somebody to help you do it. I'm working with a guy at the minute, right? He's a part of the academy. He's working full time. But every lunchtime, he gets on the phone to Rightmove. He gets on the phone to the agents. He finds deals. He does what he has to do. And then he takes a day off once every 2 weeks as a holiday day, or he works extra hours to make it work. He does his viewings. He goes and views at the weekends. But he's making it work. And as a result, he's sold 4 deals in the last 6 weeks. So there's ways around everything. You've just got to have the right attitude and the right mindset to actually start a business. Alright, next question. This is from Hakan. Okay, he says, I love your stuff, always informative. My question is, how do you find BMV deals and how do you determine if it's a great deal? Listen, Hakan, BMV deals, you're going to have to pretty much go direct to vendor, or you're going to have to get good at finding leads. Find the leads, okay? Get out there, find out how you can help a vendor fix their problems, and negotiate like crazy.
Yeah.
Negotiate like crazy. Don't be scared of putting in low blow offers. If you're not embarrassed by the offer, it's too high, my friend.
Yeah. I would say just view it and put in an offer. Offer on everything you view.
Yeah, I offer on everything I view. It might not be the offer they like, but I offer on every single property I view, okay? Okay, next question from Laura. Okay, is there a market for high-end city centre service accommodation apartments that obviously will come with a higher purchase price as long as the figure stack? Absolutely. Yeah. Do you know what? It's all about return on investment, okay? I don't care how much the property is, as long as the ROI is good, okay? So city centre apartments work very well, but obviously be aware of, like, for instance, in London, they've got the 90-day rule. You can't run a service accommodation for more than 90 days in a 12-month period, which will obviously limit what you do with them, okay? So make sure you know them rules, okay? But yeah, definitely.
I think if it stacks, it stacks.
Yeah. Final question for today. This is from Joel Caswell, and of course I'm going to answer his question because his energy and his message was amazing. OMG, yes! I finally got here in time to ask a question. Good afternoon, Alistair, and your mystery guest. Not mystery anymore because you know it's Ricky Mandel.
Hey!
I hope you're both well. We are, my friend, we are. Thank you. And my question is, what do you think about the possible new capital gains tax changes coming early next year? Do you know what? I've not looked into it properly, so I'm not going to comment too much. But I did hear about it, about how they're going to raise capital gains tax to help recover the economy. And to me, again, it's just the government taking a big old baseball bat and putting it in places where the sun don't shine to landlords. Okay, they're just battering us with a bat. That's all that's happening again. So I got to look into it. I got to find out. Who knows? We're going to have to keep a lookout and wait and see what happens there. Guys, I hope you have found this week's show useful. If you have, give me a thumbs up, give me some love below, drop a comment, tell me what you enjoyed, what you didn't like. Also, thank you to my guest, Mr. Ricky Mandel.
Thanks for having me on.
Really great guy. You can connect with me at Alistair_Cunningham. You can connect with Ricky at
Ricky Mandel.
Russell Leeds at Russell Leeds. And you know what? Tune in next week. Make sure you don't miss out. Tune in every single week, 7 PM, for your update and your weekly dose of the Russell and Alistair podcast. And guys, keep a lookout and we'll see you next time.